when to quit and when to stick with it. We're gonna learn it this week from this little book. Hi, it's Fien. Welcome back to the Boox And More self-help channel, where I'll be sharing stories that made me think and that hopefully will move you as well. So this week we're talking about a very little book. It's The Dip from Seth Godin. You might know Seth from more other topics, like mainly marketing topics. He's very well known for that. And I've enjoyed the book from this week a lot. It's a very small book and it's a very interesting topic. It talks about when to know when you should quit or when you should stick around and just go through it. So the idea that Seth wants to give us is that if you want to be successful, then it's very important to know the difference and to know when to pursue something further or to just quit when it's more suited. And it's really critical for success. That's what he tells us. So the title of the book is The Dip, and what does it mean? What does Seth mean with the dip? It's actually part of anything worthwhile pursuing, and it's that moment. First, you have the initial exciting moment in the first place, but then comes the dip. It's when it's that moment in between the initial excitement and actually the point of mastery. But Seth means or tells us that it's important to know when it's a dip and when your dip is worthwhile pursuing or when you should really quit. And he talks about the difference between the dip and the cul-de-sac. So let's explain the difference between those two, because that will tell us when to quit or when to pursue our goal. The dip is really when you start anything new. You are super enthusiastic because it's something new. You are really learning a lot of things in the beginning and you're really growing very fast. But then there comes a moment when the growth slows down a bit. You're still growing, but at a lower speed than at the beginning, and you're wondering, like, should I go or should I go further or should I just quit because I'm not growing a lot like in the beginning of the project or the goal or whatever. So of course the thing here is that when you are in a dip, then normally you are going from being an amateur to being a master in something, being an expert in something. So you have this outlook that if you just keep going, that you will become better and you will keep growing in the future. Maybe not as fast as in the beginning, but there is still growth and there is still potential at the end to reach this status of mastery or to become an expert in something. So that is actually the dip that you have to overcome. The cul-de-sac is actually French for dead end, and it's literally a dead end. You start something, you are growing just like with the dip, you're growing at a high speed, but then it becomes stagnant. And what happens is you put more and more effort into something and you're not growing, it's maybe even going downwards a bit, or it's maybe stagnant. You really have a feeling like this is stagnating and I'm not moving forward and there is no real outlook for growth anymore. What is, for example, a cul-de-sac? It's like a dead-end relationship. You're in a relationship, you are communicating what you want, you are putting in effort, and the other party is not responding, is not putting in any efforts. Then maybe you should decide to quit because it's really a cul-de-sac. Or it could be a dead-end job. You have grown a lot in the beginning, you have had a lot of pay raises, but now you're at this moment in time in a job where you cannot grow any further with regards to money, or you cannot climb up any ladder anymore. So then you're stuck and there is no real outlook for growth anymore. That's really a dead end or a cul-de-sac. So when you realize you're just in a dip and you should really go for it, then Seth tells us, if you decide to go for it and keep going through the dip, then really go for it and aim to be the best in the world. And he tells us it's important to also focus on being exceptional in one niche, specialize down in one niche to become the best in the world when you decide to go for it. But now, the other situation. What if you realize that you are in a cul-de-sac in a dead end? Then you should quit. That's what he tells. It's that easy. But it's not, it's simple, but it's not that easy, because quitting can really feel like failing, like a failure when you quit or when you leave something behind. But Seth tells us, you have this quote, winners never quit. Seth tells us that's really a stupid quote, because winners do quit and they know when to quit. They quit with dignity, right? They just know that it's a dead end and that it's smarter to put your time and effort and resources into something else where there still is an outlook for growth. Now, he takes it even a step further. He talks about strategic quitting. And strategic quitting, it's really, I thought it was a brilliant idea. It actually means that he says that before you start anything new, any new project, any new relationship, any new goal, ambition that you have, really thinking beforehand when you are going to quit. So define the criteria when these things happen, then I give myself the permission, or I tell myself to quit. I'm allowed to quit at that moment in time. Otherwise, if these do not happen, then you do not quit. So I thought it was really a brilliant idea. And to make it more practical, how am I going to use it myself? Well, I'm going to give an example. I participated in the Dodentocht last year, which is a sort of it's not really a competition, but it's walking 100 kilometers within 24 hours. And I did not put any criteria in place to know when to quit. So I just started it. I had no expectations. I was a bit prepared, but not really prepared. And so after about 50 kilometers, I quit because it rained the whole evening and the whole night, and I was really drained and cold. So I quit. But this year, I'm also going to participate. I'm going to be a bit more experienced now, and I'm going to be a bit more prepared, and I will have other clothes and so on. But I'm also going to put some criteria down to decide if I'm going to quit, then what are the criteria or what are the circumstances in which I will give myself the permission to quit. For example, if I go to one of the doctors that is there, and if the doctor tells me you should really stop here because it's not good for your health is in danger, that's, for example, something when I will listen to the doctor and think by myself, okay, this is a sign that I told myself that I would quit. So this is just an example, but I'm going to think about this for other things as well. Any new thing that I start or that I'm already doing, just think about strategic quitting. So good idea to think about. To summarize the book and to summarize this video, when to quit or when to stick, these are a couple of things to keep in mind to make your decision on both of them. So when to quit. When you're doing mediocre work, nothing remarkable, and not trying to be the best in the world. When the payoff is not worth the dip, or if the dip is too large for the resources you've got. And now the other way around. When you should stick with something. When things are improving every week or month. If you're doing exceptional, remarkable things and want to be the best in the world. Or if you can get through the dip with the resources you've got, and if the payoff is worth the struggle. Now, this is, of course, a very small summary of this little book, but there's more in the book, more topics in the book that are really interesting to think about. So I really recommend to go and check it out. And another small tip, Seth Godin is a very interesting man. He has very good ideas. So he also has a newsletter, and he sends out daily small newsletters with inspiring ideas. So I would just recommend to also go to sethgodin.com to subscribe to this newsletter. I enjoy reading it every day. So that was it for today. I'm very curious to learn if you have something in mind that you're thinking about. Should I quit or should I keep going? Maybe you have some insights now to know what to do. So feel free to add it in the comments what your thoughts and ideas are. And of course, if you have enjoyed this video, I trust that you give this video a thumbs up or a like. And if you want to hear more book reviews or more stories in the future, then feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. Of course, you're always welcome. That was it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I see you next week. Bye.